pay-per-views I've seen this year. I think overall, basically the build-up that the AEW has had since they started 2 months ago, it kind of like it makes sense in this pay-per-view. So you saw the story, how the programming went through, and I feel like they gave everybody a chance to showcase what they do, especially the different championship matches, and especially the last. I feel like the last match was I guess was like the exclamation point of the pay-per-view. So hopefully, this sets the mark for the pay-per-views for them to come, and this kind of sets a standard for them for the next upcoming pay-per-views.
I mean the match, the pay per view itself definitely got really good hype. A lot of people were giving it a lot of thumbs up. I didn't see a lot of negativity of it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we could definitely talk about the pros and the cons. I really want to focus more on the pro of what well they did than the negativity.
Yeah.
First of all, the pros is definitely the Kenny Omega versus John Moxley match. I think that that is the right way for you to do a full unsanctioned match, lights out. I feel like they really push it to the limit, exposing the ring, scratch mark, suplex through barbed wires. I mean, everything was so well done. I was just like amazed on how well their performance was.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed this match because like we got to see. We knew what Moxley, as we know before, he did indies and he basically did a lot of like extreme matches before he went to basically mainstream to WWE. So we kind of know we've seen his side, that side before. We haven't seen Kenny's until Saturday. So that's a good thing to showcase a different side of Kenny and kind of him having been kind of a well-rounded wrestler. And there's like a mean streak behind him if he gets pushed to the edge. But overall, it was like a great match. I like the different spots that they had, especially the ones you mentioned when they unveiled the cover for the apron and it was all hardwood and the bottom. Those spots were crazy. Especially, I like how they paint out to people's reaction on the crowd. It's just couldn't imagine being there, just the feel and the reaction of those spots. But um, it was, I think overall was great because I like the move that Kenny did when he was hitting him with the broom, because he's the sweeper with the barbed wire. That's like excellent spot. And also when they did basically they used the glass and they dragged Moxley was dragged over the glass instead of being like thrown at it or something. They used kind of the elements to their advantage. Overall, it was like a great spot, especially the ending was probably one of like that's where it picked up when they brought the table, the barbed wires. I'm surprised they didn't like got their arms like tangled up a little bit more, but it was like overall, I think it was at 20. Basic, this is our 2019 Extreme Rules match. It wasn't too gruesome, but you got to see some blood and some like extreme moves to this one.
I mean, definitely agree with you. Everything that they did was well coordinated, especially be able to show what an extreme match should be. Shout out to both Kenny and John Moxley for putting their body on the line like that because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, most things, people will squintish, they will close their eyes, they even look away. But seeing the fact that they were able to just continue with the program, roll with the punches. I think a majority of the stuff that they did was improvised because that's how professional they
Mm-hmm.
are. They were able to just like, you know what, maybe we should try this, see how it goes. And so far, they sold it well. I mean, Phoenix Splash, Paramount Shift, like it was crazy. I wish
Yeah,
WWE was able to do something so awesome like that to display, what I'm saying, to
yeah,
the audience, and AEW deliver it, and I give them
yeah.
props for that. That was
I
really good show.
Also, I feel like Moxley should do the elevated paradigm shift as like not his ultimate move, but like if he can finish people off as because I know when he gets into the championship mode and stuff, his finishers are gonna get at least some people are gonna kick out of it. But I feel like that should be his ultimate one, like the elevated one that kind of like it's basically a power driver, but in a DDT. That should be like he should modify that as like his like finisher. Like we know if he hits that, he wins all the time. But it was great overall. And I like the commentating. I think Scalibur mentioned a lot about Kenny Omega's background in New Japan and some of his moves that he kind of borrowed or he used that of his old competitor like Kushida and stuff. It was great because they show kind of they gave more background of Kenny's like basically before getting into AEW.
Oh, definitely, and that's something that um, people wanted to see. But in my personal opinion, Kenny Omega is not there to really win championship. He just want to build a dynasty. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And if he has to take some L's to do so, by all means. But we all know Kenny is one of the greatest performers we ever seen in this industry, and hopefully, things more to come on. Let's talk about the AEW World Championship, Chris Jericho versus Cody, where to me, I felt like this was more sabotage, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
than, an actual clean win. Does this give more of an excuse for Cody to be going for the championship, or this is really one and done? What's your personal feedback on that?
It's I feel like he should keep for me. I know circumstances happen that he didn't win, but I feel like he should keep his word just to prove that he means what he says. Especially now he's like out of management, and also if you want to keep him as a kind of baby face, kind of just have him keep his word. But I feel like they utilize this the MJF thing. I feel like they should have. It was too soon for me. I feel like I would have liked to see this like at a bigger pay per view, maybe All Out 2 or something. So you have like a whole year to build to it, rather than just like boom, here it is. I think they wanted to give a lot to the crowd, but I feel like they could have saved this in their back pocket as kind of like a trump card, maybe later on into the stories. But overall, it was a great match, and I know I was wrong on the last podcast that we said, but I'm glad that Jericho won.
I mean, it's kind of awesome that Jericho did win. Again, I felt like this gives more an opportunity for people like Moxley or Pac to go for the
Hmm.
title belt than Cody. Because Cody, I feel like he might be in that power trip. And the storyline to me would be kind of different. His wife Brandy already doing some crazy video promos that to me
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't sit well with me. So I don't want to see that to happen with her husband with the belt, So I think that was the right move in my personal opinion. Seeing that Cody's mom was involved and also his quote quote best friend MJF, I'm saying kicking him in the groins. To me, I felt like hey, it was bound to happen. I'm glad it happened now because now instead of MJF focusing on the belt, he could actually try
Hmm.
to focus on Cody, who wants to get his hands on him and trying to whoop his behind. Even though at the end he apologized for doing so, but again, nah. Once you kick him into the ball, that's very unforgiving in my personal opinion.
Yeah, and I feel like the whole throwing the towel. I get the whole like thing for it, but I feel like Cody wasn't like in any danger. I feel like he was in that move before. I know he was not passing out, but I feel like you could get out of that one, and I feel like he threw the towel a little too soon. Maybe he turned that into like a lion tamer, or maybe the knee to the head, back
Mm,
of the head. Then it's a little like forgiving about that, but it's just like that's a regular like balls of Jericho, and it's like it. I feel like it was a little too short. Like,
I mean, like for what it is, the average score that people are giving the this championship match was an A
mhm.
minus. You know what I'm saying? As short as it
Yeah.
was, and it was definitely delivered because we saw one of two of the greatest in the match, giving it all. I mean, similar to the UFC match. You know what I'm saying? When it was Jorge versus Nate Diaz. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You gotta you gotta throw in the towel when you feel it's right. So weird,
I
yes,
feel,
but
I
hey,
feel, sorry. I feel like you remember we talked about before how they were gonna bring the time limit and the three judges. I feel like this would have been a great time to utilize that rule or something. Like
mm,
instead of them throwing the towel, like have the timeout, then have two out of the three or somebody like give it to Jericho, but like it was more judges, so it wasn't up to them. It was up to like an external team or external like decision. So that could play more into the program, and then you could have the MJF thing. But it they could have done some other things. But I'm glad it was a good match. I'm glad that Jericho kind of got over Cody, and now he gets to go to a different contender, and we'll see. He has a list to go through. So he got a good list of contenders coming out.
Moxley, Moxley, Moxley. That's all I'm
Mhm.
cheering for. Another championship match I thought that was really pro was the women championship, student versus teacher, Riho versus Emi Shikora. Honestly, I thought this match, I was worried about it at first. You know, a lot of bumps, a lot of like froze up moment that I felt like, hey, this not does not kind of, it felt weird, but the way how it was delivered, you know, the result, Riho keeping the belt. I mean, you was right on that point. You know, she did win, and especially with the pinfall.
Yeah,
But I would like to see it more with a more of a powerful move. You know what I'm saying? Like like a kick. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or the Ember moonsault. You know, something more elegant. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But with the big
Riho needs
impact.
like she needs like a better, not a better finisher, but I feel like even when she does 619, built off that move or something, or like do like Kairi Sane does the insane elbow or something. I know you're small, but like if you use, for example, momentum or gravity towards yourself, like that elbow or Shining Wizard, like it makes her package even better. But I feel like I know it was an emotional moment for Sakura, but I like that they showed the more human side of the performers because that's basically the first time in the state that she's gone for a title. And it kind of shows a different dimension of like student versus teacher, and she's finally trying to become champion, and it's a good stuff for Rio. I'm waiting for. I've got the Sakura thing. It's over, so I'm waiting for Britt Baker or even Awesome Kong to be in the mix for the title.
I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, awesome
yeah.
condo. Ooh, I mean, I understand Kayla Rose going back again. You know, for
Hmm.
part two. I wouldn't mind that. Bree Baker wouldn't mind that either. But like, awesome Oh, that. Nah, I'm good. I'm good
Yeah,
with that. I'm good. Uh, Another championship match too, which is the last championship,
yeah.
is the tag team championship, which was triple threat between SCU, Private Party, and Lucha Bros. The result was correct. You know what I'm saying? It
Hmm.
had to be SCU. Knowing that Private Party gave a hell of a performance with the Lucha Brother, I felt like this was definitely after the John versus Kenny match. This match was definitely fire to me. This match, I don't know about Private Party, but I'm sold. I'm in the VIP section, drinking and chilling with these fellas because they know how to have a hell of a time. I just enjoy
They
that match.
they're good workers, and especially like I think it's kind of comical when they like I forgot which one it does. Not the one with the blonde braids, but the other one. Like he
Hmm.
does the little screeching, screaming sound. Like I feel like it's hilarious, and it adds to it. Like I feel like they're like the new day of AEW. Like they're funny, but they legit, and they like probably they will be one of the they could be one of the best tag team in the future. They're pretty young, and they could like hold that tag team like title and that division on their shoulders in the future. But it was excellent. I like the ending. It was like I didn't see that we kind of talked about it, but I didn't think it was gonna come to realize to when Christopher Daniels showed up at the end. It was like you had two what was his name? We had um
Christopher
oh I forgot.
Daniels.
Yeah, but he was dressed up as I completely forgot his name. um, one of the Lucha Bros, he was dressed up as him, and it's kind of like funny because we had something similar to like when Sin Cara had like a double ganger kind of, and
Oh,
it was like I think it was like the best way to Christopher Daniels to come back as like I feel like they should have done like a switcheroo and him been partake of the match and kind of hit um his partner instead. So if it was a good addition, but it was just like it was a good return for Christopher Daniels, but I feel like they could have been more creative with it, like just because he was dressed up as him, you know?
I mean, yeah, but again, everything was to me. It was well done in the timing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what AEW does well is maximizing performance. You know what I'm saying? And giving the best opportunity as possible for audience to like pop and be like, oh snap, he is back. Now what? What's gonna happen now on Wednesday? Who are they gonna be facing? Who's gonna be the number one contender, right? And to
Mm-hmm.
me, the answer was the match before it, where it was the Young Bucks versus Santana and Ortiz. Now,
Yeah.
to me, uh, the inner circle definitely are working to have every single belt, what I'm saying, in their organization. But they need a women in order to win the women belt, of course. But besides that,
Uh, yeah. I feel like they might get somebody. I feel like there's more people coming. So I feel like their recruitment's not over yet, and I feel
mhm,
like that inner circle, they're that's a group to bring people either that we haven't seen or they're in the indies that are popular, but they still like pending in their contract. So because we saw Santana Ortiz, they came from Impact. We had Jack Hager coming also from kind of the indies too. So they I feel like their inner circle is not done yet. And same
mhm.
thing with the Bullet Club because we still have um, Marty Skrull still his contract is pending, so we might see him part of the elite and maybe
Ooh,
take care of people. But we'll see. Because I know now that MJF kind of like betrayed Cody, we might see maybe
Two
Marty Skrull.
Face Cody.
Maybe we might see Marty Skrull with him going like kind of head to head. So that'll be something to stay tuned. But I feel like it was just overall like they need one more person. Like they need to
A
finish the
woman.
kind of like a woman. But I feel like my opinion, I know I'm getting a little bit about ahead of myself, but they have a match tomorrow. Chris Jericho and Sammy versus SCU for the title. I think they might win it. That's just kind of hot take, but I think I saw the promo that Jericho did on Twitter, and I probably that's like a winner's promo, and Chris Jericho hasn't lost yet. So unless Christopher Daniels gets involved or something happens, but I feel like imagine Jericho with two titles, and it might be part of the inner circle, so they could rotate it around. So it could happen. So we'll see.
I rather Santana and Ortiz winning the belt to represent the inner circle
But I feel
than
like
Sammy and Chris Jericho. I mean, like
But I
with
feel like if it's part of the inner circle, it belongs to the group, and kind of like that, do the free bird rules, and
hell no,
like,
that's not going to be implied.
uh,
Hell
we'll see.
no. I felt look, dude. Honestly, if that's the case, then yes, I predict that SEU get a DQ for the match, but they still keep the belt tomorrow.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Chris Jericho will not be tainted. Sammy will not be tainted. The record would still be, decent, but the belt should stay within a legitimate tag team. You know what I'm saying? Not
Mm-hmm.
some group that just came out of the blues. Again, Santana and Ortiz definitely look ideal, in my personal opinion, for the belt. Once they come up with a mid heavyweight belt for either Jack Hager or Sammy, excuse me, to be able to pick up, you know what I'm saying? That would definitely give a more that undisputed ever type of feel, you know what I'm saying, for AEW. But till then, it's a DQ tomorrow. I'm calling it.
Yeah.
I cannot predict it. The other matches, so we could just jump straight to SmackDown real quick.
Yeah.
Brie Breaker defeat Bea Priestley via submission. That got a C. And also Adam Hangman Page versus Pac. He defeated him in a pinfall, which that was a decent match. Not one of my favorite, but it was decent.
Yeah.
And then Sean Spear defeated Joey Janela via pinfall. So a lot of clean sweep. You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
clean matches, which again, Full Gear definitely did what they had to do. I think they really putting themselves on top of the map, which makes Survivor Series more dangerous for them to like bring everything. You know what I'm saying? Because like AEW,
Which they've been building up that for the past 2 weeks. They've been building to Survivor Series. So this Survivor Series, they have to like hit it like home run every match because I think Survivor Series week we're gonna have War Games on Saturday and Sunday Survivor Series. So they have to do those two pay-per-views like at 100 in order for us to kind of forget about AEW, which is gonna be difficult for them to do.
I mean, it is going to be difficult for them to do, but I think it's possible because you know what I'm saying. They are the team. They're on top of that pedestal. You know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So if they mess up even one time, which one of the match I really want to get your insight about, but one of the match, we'll get there for Survivor
Yeah.
Series. So, uh, so
We also
last
had I don't know if you're gonna get to it, but the proud and powerful versus the Young Bucks. That was, I think it was one of, for me it was like one of my top three matches. It was Ortiz and Santana. That's their new name, Proud and Powerful. Um, that's their versus the Young Bucks, and the um Ortiz and Santana defeated the Young Bucks.
yeah, we did talk about it.
Oh, my bad.
No, we're
but
good.
but it was like I like the whole gimmick, and they have like a whole New York, like their pinstripes, like kind of New York like look to them, and they will be the new team to beat pretty soon.
Definitely. So SmackDown Live was definitely hosted in Newark, Virginia. Hold up, nope,
No,
no,
it's Manchester. So these
man,
two
they were in the
Smack
UK. Yep.
yeah, SmackDown and Raw were kind of pre-recorded a couple of days before the show was showed to us in the States. Unfortunately, I got to see when I was going through Twitter, I got to see some
Results.
results and spoilers, which I wasn't too mad about. But I'm glad that I got to see them. I'm kind of upset that I got to see the results, but I'm glad that the results that happened. There was a lot of upsets and a lot of new welcoming teams to SmackDown and Raw. So.
Oh yeah. So here it is. I updated my list. So opening match was the New Day versus the Revival. And honestly, to me, I felt like this match was WWE saying we need all big
Mhm.
guns for Survivor Series. With this being said, uh, the New Day won the championship, making them a seven-time uh, winners. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Which to me it was cool, but honestly, for Kofi,
Yeah. And it was
mm,
funny. Their promo before was like they're trying to catch up to Charlotte Flair and her title reign. So it's gonna. I think I liked how they kind of like not threw a jab at her, but it was like we need to catch up to her because she's gonna get like maybe 9, 10, 11, 12. You know, like so they need to catch up there. But I feel like I would have liked the revival because we're gonna see all the tag teams facing each other and Survivor Series. So
mm-hmm.
that's right now. So far, what it's projected is the Viking Raiders versus Undisputed Era versus New Day. I would have preferred to see for me the revival to see this match again because this is what happened War Games a couple of years ago. But and all three teams were contending for the NXT Championship. So now each team has their own championship to their brand. So just to see who's the best out of now, it would have been kind of like a rematch for them. But New Day is a good thing because they needed kind of big hitters for the pay per view.
I mean, like, mm, again, this is WWE just saying all top guns on deck. We need everybody that have the theme, the fans, you know what I'm saying, the charisma for the Survivor Series, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I believe New Day won, not because much of Kofi Kingston, but more, to show that hey, we got great performers for this pay-per-view. So that's how I felt what it was because
Mm-hmm.
again, a little sidebar real quick. I did saw Dwayne the Rock Johnson interview with ESPN MMA podcast. It was about 30 minutes long, and he explained that you know being a pro wrestler, you do get the luxury of knowing who's winning. You know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
how they're scripted. But us as fans, I like to see more of the reason why. Why did they win with the
Well, at least
direction
well, at
then
least build up to it.
you know what I'm saying? I like to know those type of reason more than just like the result and I'm gonna keep it. No, I don't want to be settled with the result. I would like to know what was the create like the planning behind it for it to be decided that New Day was gonna win over the Survivor Series. And my conclusion is just is for that pay per view because again, the
Hmm.
revivals are great. They have all three belts: Raw, NXT, and
SmackDown.
SmackDown Live. To me, they should have stayed.
Yeah,
I they should have
and
stayed.
I think it would have been better for the whole thing because like I mentioned before, like you got to see basically all the three teams that are going to Survivor Series face each other before, so they worked with each other before. So I feel like the New Day, they're professional. They could work with anybody, but I feel it's not gonna be the same synergy than if Revival was there working with all the three. Because you have like the big guys as the Viking Raiders, you have kind of the tough guys as um, you have the Revival, then you have Undisputed Era that they could do anything at any moment, anyhow. So it's the dynamics of it would have been better, but we'll see what the New Day, especially with Kofi Kingston, because I feel like if New Day would have won it with Xavier Woods, would have been a little different, the dynamic of the teams. But I don't think the Kofi Kingston Big E's gonna last too long. Like you mentioned, it might be just be for Survivors and that's about it.
I mean, we'll keep our eyes open on it, but so far, the Revival were replaced by the New Day, so we'll definitely be seeing New Day versus the Viking Experience versus the Undisputed Era for Survivor Series. With that
Who
being
you
said,
got for? I know it's a little too early to prediction, but for now, if it happened, pay per view happened, let's say tomorrow or today, who do you think? Who you got?
mm,
Easy. That's a. It's the. I would. I feel like
NXT.
undisputed. I feel like undisputed could take it. This match. This is one of the either Raw SmackDown could give up, as for them to have a couple of wins. Because I feel like the overall winner is gonna be probably gonna be Raw.
I mean, yes, because one of the matches that they announced, we're going a little bit off script, but one of the match that they also announced was AJ Styles, the U.S. title versus the North American title, which is currently Roderick Strong
Mm-hmm.
versus the Intercontinental Champion, which is Shinsuke
Shinsuke.
Nakamura. So to me, we're definitely going to get some New Japan vibe with Strong in it, which is going to be definitely very interesting to watch as well. And if I could think of the result there, I mean, again, Strong could win it, but I feel like Raw will win that match with AJ Styles because
Mhm.
he's phenomenal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nick Shinsuke Nakamura to me will be the underdog. As for the
Mm-hmm.
tag team, the underdog for me will be the Viking Experience, and my second pick would be New Day for that triple threat match. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So right there, NXT will be one, Raw will have one, SmackDown will have zero. Then we have freaking the women's
Because we
championship,
that maybe Bailey could sneak one out of that one.
Bailey versus Becky versus Blazer, and to me, you're saying Bailey could win it? I don't think so. I think Becky probably gonna win that match over Blazer
Yeah.
versus Becky. Again, Becky will be the underdog. To me, a lot of the SmackDown choices are underdogs because except for the New Days, because everybody is just not that they don't have that present. You know what I'm saying? Becky
Okay.
has that present. Shayna Blazer has that present. You can tell that they know how to sell the show. I know Bailey has been doing it for so many years, but I'm still not convinced with this new character. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not
Yeah.
like I'm sold to her that she. Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
got this. If it
Yeah.
was
I like
Charlotte,
that. Yeah.
sure.
But yeah. But I like that she kind of mentioned that she's the only female that's won every time. She's basically Grand Slam.
Well deserved. Well
So which is
deserved. Yeah.
right. So at least she's kind of like hyping herself up, give like expressing her accolades throughout the years she's been in WWE. But I feel like that something's gonna happen that like I feel like Bailey could like sneak one out of everything all the matches. I feel like because they're not paying attention too much to Bailey because you're gonna see Baszler and Becky going at it submission to submission. I feel like she's gonna maybe steal one out and that continue out to maybe either Royal Rumble or WrestleMania in the future.
I mean, we'll see. But again, so far, if Survivor Series was tomorrow, you could bank on me saying Raw will be in the lead by two, NXT by one, SmackDown zero, and then we also will have the traditional. Oh
5 on
well,
5.
first time five triple threat 5 5 5 5. So,
Hmm.
Seth Raw already announced their team, which is a team with Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owen, Ricochet, and Randy Orton. Which to me
Which is stacked. It's
that's a
crazy.
well balanced
Yeah.
team,
Hmm.
especially with Kevin Owens, especially with Drew McIntyre itself.
Yeah.
Previous NXT champion. Well, Seth Rollins was
Yeah.
also NXT champion, but
Hmm.
still a lot of they have
But
champions in that
I
roster.
feel
It's
too that
beautiful.
that team. I feel that team is very volatile. I feel like that team is gonna implode or something's gonna happen because we saw yesterday when I know you're getting a little ahead, but when Randy Orton kind of like about to do RKO and Ricochet, that they have a little turmoil. Then Drew McIntyre, he's a heel, so he could just walk away and do nothing. And like I feel like Kevin Owens might not jump
Mm-mm.
ship, but he might maybe help NXT. So there's a lot of things that could happen between the five that like they could result them to lose the match. I think.
I mean, to me, they would definitely be able to work well as a unit for that night. You know what I'm saying? I've
Mm-hmm.
seen Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens work together. I have seen Drew McIntyre. Maybe like him and Randy are the two that I fear they might like turn
Mm-hmm.
on Raw. But other than that, I feel like they'd be fully dedicated to the match, given the hell of a show. Now NXT, I don't think they have announced who are their five, and I'm not assuming it's going to be Adam Cole with
No.
with Team NXT, because I feel like him and whoever's the champion of SmackDown plus a Raw member choice may have a triple threat, because like Brock Lesnar
Mm-hmm.
versus Rey Mysterio, that should not be a card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That should be something that they
Not for
should
Survivor
announce.
Series. Yeah. Not
That
for this pay per view.
that should be something that they should be able to resolve within the next, either next week or the week after, before Survivor Series, to know who's going to represent Raw in a traditional triple threat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. But if anything, I would love to see Rey Mysterio versus a Fiend versus Adam Cole. You know what I'm saying? And Walter
Yeah.
invading too. Yo,
Imagine
I'm
Walter.
surprised it's not a fatal four way. I'm surprised it's
Uh,
not a fatal four.
I don't. Maybe we might see Walter against Adam Cole and somebody, maybe Daniel Bryan or somebody there. So you still have like, because I don't think the Fiend. I wouldn't use the Fiend in this pay per view.
I
I would
would.
just. I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like he could sneak in and attack somebody, but I don't want to see him walking down. And it's just like I don't know. I feel like it's like imagine Walter, Adam Cole, and the Fiend. Adam Cole is uh, no chance he's gonna win. No chance.
That's the point.
So it's just like I don't know. It would not be good for Adam Cole because you basically you're trying to make him like not look strong, but he already defeated Daniel Bryan. He kind of was doing well against Seth. Then he faces Walter and Fiend and gets destroyed. It's
He's
not
not
gonna
gonna get
like
destroyed because it's a triple threat match. You know what I'm saying? Triple threat. I mean, he's just gonna take the advantage of a good opportunity, good spot. You know what I'm saying? For him to
mm-hmm.
display his move, even though yes, he's going to get overpowered by the Fiend or Walter. But again, you're just you're not losing credibility to the strength of Walter and the Fiend as well. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
By putting Adam Cole, it's the same as when NXT did that triple threat match with Keith,
Um,
Diodova,
yeah, Dominic
and
Dijakovic,
Strong.
whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That match worked out really well. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And Strong is it can be a representation of Adam Cole in Survivorship if they went that route. Again,
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised that all of these championship matches are not fatal four, because UK have their own women tag team and big championship. The only thing that they don't have is a middleweight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless if you throw in 205 with AJ Styles, Strong, and Shinsuke Nakamura, which to me, it would not hurt them either.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Or you could even do, because I'm thinking Garza might win it this tomorrow. Maybe you
okay.
have Garza, Shinsuke. You might have Roderick Strong and AJ Styles. You have every style of wrestling in one ring together, and
And
that'll be a good, that'll be excellent dynamic.
I mean, I bet they reached less than, the average probably would be 215, but not taking
Mm,
away nothing away from any of those competitors. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
S- to me, Survivor Series has to be a little bit more organized. I understand the triple threat match between the three, but the current champion of UK, which I think is it? It's not Tony Storm, is Homegirl.
I forgot her name. Yeah, that's a different female UK champion.
I mean,
Um,
she deserved a shine in. You know what I'm saying? Her
yeah, true.
her presence should be in either this upcoming SmackDown or Raw. Be like, hey, I don't know who y'all are, but I'm also champion, and I'm putting my name in this match as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it more universal. No pun
Because
intended.
that's still part of the NXT. Like they're still there. You know, like that could have been a good addition. Maybe they might add people in that they have. You know, maybe I don't know. It's something to so they could think about.
I mean, if you're in the UK and you had NXT UK attack SmackDown or Attack Raw,
Mm-hmm.
you you
Yeah.
gotta. This is like to me a full green light. Be like, yo, let's bring them in. Let's give them a good show with this. You know what I'm saying? Now, we talked about the women match. We talk about the tag team match. We even talk about the middle card, middleweight champions. But what about? We also talked about the 5 men for Raw. Who do you believe will be the 5 men for NXT and the 5 men for SmackDown?
I could see for NXT if they make it out of if they make it out of War Games. I could see probably Gargano, um, Matt Riddle. If Velveteen Dream is available, maybe him. Um, Pete Dunne and maybe Champa or have somebody else. I don't know how crazy that match is gonna be.
Finn Balor.
Um, Finn Balor have the five there. So at least that team is more balanced out because they don't hate each other at some point. So at least everybody can work together. They have similar in ring skill and work, and they work with people and NXT and especially Finn Balor and Pin Dud. They've flip flop with other brands, so they kind of are able to be flexible and be like utilize their skill kind of for other teams. But that I think that that'll be a balanced team, and I think that'll be the team that I would do. I don't think that WWE is gonna do that. They might do like Damian Priest, people that are not popular but are popping up right now. That like we might see him kind of like what Triple H might do, kind of like a power move. They might use big guys there instead.
I mean, I agree with your pick for NXT. We'll see what happens because again, another thing that you just made me realize is that War Game is before Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have people like Blazer, the Undisputed Era going to war, they're
Mm-hmm.
definitely gonna have not a big advantage throughout their match in Survivor Series. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's like a big overload for them unless they're okay with it, which I
And
believe they are, but still anything
and do
could
you think
happen.
that and do you think that the results because we all know it's predetermined, but you think the results if something were to happen, somebody lose a title,
Okay.
don't somebody. Do you think that would affect the Survivor Series like team ups, or would they keep the same ones? Or they'll switch them last minute. But you know what I'm saying? Let's say, for example, like Undisputed Era, I doubt it. But let's say they lost. You know what I'm saying? Will they still be part of the Survivor Series, or do you think that might kind of like predict that they will win in War Games because they have to be in Survivor Series?
I think it give them more of an edge. You know what I'm saying? Keeping
Mm-hmm.
them hype and fresh. Because if you're having your champions represent you, you know what I'm saying? You don't
Mm-hmm.
want them in the worst condition. You know what I'm saying? I feel like War Games should be the week before Survivor Series. You know what I'm saying? Giving
Yeah,
them a chance to rest their body if you're throwing their names into a big event like this. I I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna play out. Like I said,
yeah.
the WWE cannot choke.
Mess this one up. Yeah.
They
I
can't.
even forgot. I even kind of adding to the teams. I kind of forgot your boy Tyler Breeze could be in the 5-man team for NXT.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't been on TV, but
yeah.
like he's kind of like just add like kind of add a little bit, kind of like OG, kind of like Tyler Breeze into the mix. You know?
It's a possibility. I don't doubt Tyler Breeze. I just doubt how the creative table of these wrestling organization, have things set up. You know what I'm saying? That's who I have doubtful for. Like AEW, we talked about it. It was well done. Well performed. Not a lot of complication. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we just pointed out one of the biggest issue is that War Game is right before Survivor Series.
Let me
How
hold
it
on. Let me double check this. Either way, if it's a week before or whatever, they still not at 100%. You know, like they just did a big pay-per-view in a week, or let's say a week or two. Like it's not. Let me see. War Games is in the 23rd, and Survivor Series I think it's the 24th. It's on Friday. Yep. So maybe before. Yep. And Survivor Series is the 24th. Yep. So Survivor Series starts the 22nd. So that Friday is that sorry, but that SmackDown is the 22nd. Saturday's NXT. Um, Sunday's Survivor Series, and Monday it's Raw. So like, it's gonna be tough for them. I thought it was gonna be the week before, but like, just thinking about that, that's gonna like, it's like I'm glad that they're adding NXT, but that's gonna be difficult for NXT to
it's
be
it's
proud for, you know?
it's too mixed. It's
Mm-hmm.
so close, and I wish it wasn't. I wish that Saturday pay-per-view would be like Evolution.
No,
All women,
or at
all
least
women
do
pay-per-view.
War Games, but for UK. Why can't you give UK War Games? You know what I'm saying? Like blend UK throughout this month into regular NXT, so the people that are not like the team, for example, like Forgotten Sons, you haven't been using them, so throw them with that UK title like teams or whatever. Kind of what are you doing? But NXT and NXT UK Invasion, you could have other people. I know WWE has bought out Evolve, so bring people from Evolve and give them some TV time. So at least you have War Games within that, but it's I feel like it's not too rushed, but too many pay-per-views, especially this one. I feel like that's gonna affect the results for Survivor Series.
Look, at the end of the day, for us wrestling fan, it's definitely a hell of a week. You know what I'm saying? You just pointed out from Friday to Monday is wrestling, 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 which is I'm not complaining. I'm worried more about the competitors and how the shape they're gonna be in to follow up. Each night because it's not
Mm-hmm.
easy. It's not easy. But uh, but going back to the topic, right? So
Yeah,
Raw, they already declared their team. NXT, we definitely have an ideal of who could be the five front for that Survivor match. But what about for Team SmackDown? Obviously, I could see Roman Reigns representing
yeah.
SmackDown. I could see Daniel Bryan teaming up with Roman Reigns. Shoot, you could even throw in Braun if they don't do nothing stupid with him and Tyson. Because
Yeah.
I didn't get that. Like, why did Tyson Fury showed
I think they're
up?
trying to. Yeah, I think they're trying to do well. Tyson
Is
Fury, he's European, kind of gypsy, so I feel like they brought him there, not brought him there, but since they were already in UK, kind of like that do the hometown pop thing. But I feel like I
it was
hope they weren't.
unnecessary.
Yeah, I feel like they weren't that they were trying to do what they did with Cesaro and Sheamus. Like they fought against each other, and they hated each other so much that they became like they respected each other to become a team. Because he was like, oh, maybe you and I could become a team, and they kind of took down the B team, and it was just like, like
No,
Tyler Fury, don't get hurt, just stay a boxing. Like thank you for your like 10-minute match at like Saudi Arabia, but it was just that's it. Like
I'd
you
rather
done.
him focus more of getting his match ready with Weiler than
Mm-hmm.
focusing on some, predetermined match in WWE. It doesn't. To me that did not make sense. You said, oh, it's like a home hero returning and getting a pop. Who give a flying f? Like right now, we gotta focus on who's representing SmackDown, and I'd rather have Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan. I want to throw in Braun. He deserved to represent SmackDown. Shoot, I want Shorty G. Throw in Shorty G for me, okay? That's not too
Okay.
much to ask. Give me Shorty G. And then, who's the last SmackDown? I'm gonna say King Corbin.
I don't want to see Ken Corbin. I feel like for me, I'm being overly exposed of him. So, which is, I don't want him in the same team as Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you throw in Roman Reigns, say I don't want him with Roman Reigns. I know we need a heel there. So you mentioned Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Braun Strowman. So you got three. I'm looking at the roster now. Maybe, ugh, um, Luke Harper, because he's not being used.
No, no.
Mustafa Ali, maybe Mustafa Ali.
Ali. I
Who else?
I
With the
would.
Miz.
Ooh, I forgot about the Miz. I'm sorry, Miz. Forgive me. With your awesomeness.
Yeah.
Um, um, damn.
You know, either the Miz, because SmackDown doesn't have that many good people, unfortunately. Or maybe you could do Heavy Machinery, throw him in there, so you have two. Then you have
Hell flying, no.
there's nobody else like
Hell
the,
flying, no. Get out of here. Heavy
there's
Machinery,
nobody.
they're more of
Yeah,
an opening act than something serious as a 5-on-5 elimination match.
but the thing you
Raw
have.
has RKO. Raw
Uh-huh.
has Drew, Kevin Owen, Seth Rollins, and freaking Ricochet. Champions. We're talking
Yes.
about champions. SmackDown could definitely do Daniel Bryan. They could
Okay.
definitely do Roman Reigns. They could
Uh,
definitely do Shorty G because he was a tag team champion.
okay. All
He
right.
was a tag team champion. We
You have
got
you got four. So Braun Strowman. Okay, who's gonna be the fifth person? There's nobody. Let me just quick mention who SmackDown has available. They have Apollo Crews, which we haven't seen.
to nah,
Um,
not a
the
champion.
New Day's not available because they're facing the tag team. You have Cesaro. Yeah.
He was. He's not a
Uh,
recent champion, but he was a champion.
you have Drew Gulak. Elias is injured, so he can't be in it. Kalisto and them, no.
No,
Um, the only one, Lars Sullivan, Luke Harper,
no. Lars
Mus-
Sullivan, we haven't seen from him in a while.
Mustafa Ali, and that's about it.
U.S. champion.
Sami Zayn can't wrestle, like because he's injured, not because he can't. You know, he just can't. And that's about it. And you have Heavy Machinery. That's it. That's the entire roster for SmackDown for guys that are not in a main event on
King
already.
Corbin. He's the only logical.
That's
Look,
gonna be horrible. Like it's gonna be like the worst.
hey,
Like
is leaving a bad taste in your mouth. I get it, but he's to me, it's the only one that makes sense. Okay.
prefer the Miz. Prefer the Miz over Ken Corbin.
Oh,
That's what
I prefer Shorty. I prefer the Miz over Shorty G, but Shorty
no,
G is having a good pop. You know what I'm
no.
saying?
So keep Shorty G in it. So you have Shorty G,
Yeah.
Roman, Daniel Bryan, Braun, Shorty G, and the Miz. 5.
I feel like you need King Corbin.
Either
You
that or Mustafa Ali. Like I feel like Mustafa's not being
because
used.
this is why you need King Corbin, right? With the
Okay.
result that they gave last Friday with Dolph and Robert, right? And we didn't even mention them being part of Team SmackDown, which I hope that's never the case. But with them going against Roman Reigns, they could definitely interfere in that match, you know what I'm saying? And allowing, you know what I'm saying, Roman to get eliminated, continuing that story. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because if you focus on the story more than just the result of the Survivor Series, like who cares who wins? Most likely it's going to be Raw because honestly they've been losing fan base for quite some time. SmackDown is the A show, and NXT is way better than both. I mean, like Raw's definitely taking it, but you want to continue with that story. That's like the main focus to me. That's what they should be focusing on. And having a Roman Reigns versus Corbin, or having a handicap match, him against Roman Reigns, that'll be fire. That'll be fire. And then Daniel Bryan could assist them with a 3-on-2 type of match, like they did
Mm-hmm.
with the Shield versus uh the Miz Mazar, or the B team, Braun, and I think it was Bobby Lashley.
I think so. When Bobby Lashley did the power bomb, so it was Braun, Bobby, and McIntyre. against the Shield, I think.
No, 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 no. I'm talking about the. It was a handicap match, right? So Kurt Angle
Okay.
replaced Roman Reigns. So you had
Hmm.
Dean and Seth, and then you had the Miz, who heated the Shield, and Kurt Angle versus the Miz Montage, which was the B team, known as the B team. They had Braun, and I think they had Bobby Lashley too as like more muscle, where
Yeah.
they put Braun in the dumpster truck and drove that. That match was so horrible, but that's the type of match. Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns versus Dolph, Robert, and King Corbin. I would like to see that match. That
Yeah.
that that could build a well story, in my personal
Because
opinion.
I feel like everybody, because Raw, their team is like loaded. Like that's like the all-star team overall. Like
But they
unfortunately,
need it.
yeah, I feel like if King Corbin like that, I know SmackDown. I feel like that team is so sad. Um, NXT could like build a team. They already saw what Raw did. They could do not a power play, but like they could put people NXT that are gonna go there that are like either very popular or
Hmm.
very like kind of like strategic that they could take on people if it ended up being like not a one-on-one, but like if they keep eliminating people, they could survive the elimination of this Survivor Series. Because I know that I feel like the ending of it is gonna be, I feel like the last four, whatever. We're gonna see Randy Orton at the end. We're gonna see Seth. We're gonna see maybe Braun if Braun becomes part of SmackDown, and Roman. So I feel like those four are they have to be there. Everybody else is kind of like who's gonna take the bump and who's gonna kind of be eliminated within that premise.
Well, we're definitely gonna find out more later on this week. I feel like Raw definitely did a. I thought they were just going to introduce two members for Team Raw alongside Seth Rollins,
Mm-hmm.
but announcing all five contenders, that to me made a whole lot of sense. Um, Freaking, what else happened on Raw yesterday? Um,
Well, we had a super down on the Rusev Lana thing that keeps
why are
going,
you
which is
bringing that up? Why? No, no, no. We're not. We're
just
not talking.
just a sudden
No,
reaction.
no, no.
Um,
We're not
we
talking about
had
that.
who else? We had the Kabuki Warriors defeating Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. That was a good match. Um, then we had since this was pre-recorded, I think this was aired yesterday, but it was the match took place. I think it was Saturday or Sunday.
Hmm.
Um, so the match that was recorded was Drew McIntyre against Sin Cara. And I saw over the weekend that Sin Cara requested that he did a long letter requesting his release of
Oh yeah,
WWE.
and
But
also
I don't
that
think
girl
WWE. What?
Carolina is also returning to NXT.
Yeah. So Sin Cara wanted to release. I saw today that WWE is not releasing anybody at this point at all. So I feel they might put Sin Cara on the shelf or something, maybe developmental, either Evolve or some other like lower, um, basic promotion. So just to keep him kind of to serve out his contract. But um, if he got released, I would like to see him maybe back in Mexico or maybe Impact or something, but without a mask, bringing back his like Unico or his old school gimmick rather than a mask wrestler.
Sin Cara, AEW will gladly receive you with
Oh
open
yeah,
arms, so you could do a hell of a match with Heyman Page and Pac, because
mm-hmm.
they need that.
Yeah.
That's where Sin Cara belong. As well, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah. We know I put money on it that the Hardy Boys will definitely, no matter what, they'll
With
be,
no hesitation.
yeah, they'll be there. Do you think it's? I feel like it'd be a good moment if they release Matt Hardy. So we saw the broken gimmick when he was in Impact. He tried to bring it over to WWE. It didn't work out, but whatever. I feel like this, if they end up going to AEW, this will be a good like restart for them, and they could bring something fresh and new for something that they could come up with. I know that Matt Hardy is very creative and that he could come up with different ideas. So I feel like this would be a good last hurrah and on his gimmick. Maybe he could even retire at the end for AEW.
I would say Bubba Ray or Bully Ray, I could
Mm-hmm.
definitely see him doing a special appearance with AEW. I could also see Devon, even though he's part of the scout for WWE, you know what I'm saying, talent acquisition, I could definitely see him showing up in AEW once his contract retired. Um, I would like to see EC3
Oh yeah, I feel bad.
Impact
Yo,
or Ring of Honor because, like, honestly, that's BS that he's like holding out for no reason. And your boy, what's his name again? Madison? No, Mason? No, uh, Hollywood looking like he was in the Underground Lucha.
uh,
Previous tag team with the Miz.
oh, he's John Morrison. He's signed. They haven't used him. I know.
He's
What's
another
his name?
one that's like
No, John Morrison. They signed him, so W3 signed him. I feel on purpose, so he doesn't go anywhere. And I feel like he, after this whole Survivor Series, everything kind of, they might give him maybe. If I were WWE, I would give him, allow him to win the Royal Rumble or something big. So kind of like bring Introduce him back into the fold, and maybe especially SmackDown needs people for him in SmackDown, and him and the Miz could maybe tag team or Intercontinental, or I don't know. He brings, now that he's been through the Indies and stuff, he could bring more experience and kind of like a new pizzazz to the division and SmackDown too.
I don't know.
Because I know Dolph Ziggler was saying, how come we haven't used him? Because he wants to work with them again. So maybe him, and because I know Bobby Roode and him are currently like partners and stuff, but we might see maybe like Dolph Ziggler and The Miz kind of like what they're doing with Dolph Ziggler. So Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, we might see what The Miz and John Morrison and SmackDown. So kind of like copy and paste on the other side.
How do you feel about Sasha Bank winning the match against Nikki Cross?
Um, I feel like the Nikki Cross, like we mentioned before, it's kind of was a good kind of first contender for Bayley, and I feel like anybody that Bayley goes towards Bayley, I feel like Sasha is kind of the gatekeeper, the protector for now, for Bayley. So I
Makes
feel like
sense. Makes
so
sense.
anybody that has to go wants to go against Bayley or become number one contender either has to defeat Sasha or go for the title, lose, then lose against Sasha. So they kind of like you have to go against two former champions or champions basically. So it's kind of like a good stepping stone. But I feel like the whole friendship with Sasha is gonna be short lived pretty soon. So I feel like Sasha's gonna end up with a title again. So I feel like something's gonna happen and we might see like a heel turn or something for the title.
Well, they're both heels already, so I do feel maybe Sasha might beat maybe Nikki Cross or because I feel like Nikki Cross might win the belt in a
Oh,
sense. Oh, hey,
uh,
hey,
good for
hey,
her, but it's just like I don't know. It's just I don't know. Like I feel like she should. For me, it would have been better for her when her gimmick, when she was like crazier before she got linked up with Alexa Bliss. I feel like that would have been a better time for her because it's like kind of like Tasmanian Devil. You can control her, unpredictable, crazy. So her matches would have been chaotic but control chaos. But I feel now she got toned down so much that like, for me, it's just loses the spark for that.
it's and true, true. We'll see,
Uh,
we'll see, we'll see.
I like Sasha Banks' new entrance. She added Snoop Dogg's flair to it. It's a little different, but it's I guess her heel music now. But I think it's a good progression because I feel like it was a good entrance before, but I feel like since we know that she's related to Snoop Dogg, so I feel like Snoop Dogg kind of did her a favor and kind of like bumped up her music a little bit better. It was a good for me. It was something different. It was good for her that she got to freshen up her like music.
No
Bailey would
comment.
Bailey would have needed a better. I think she still needs a better music, but that's that her music sounds too close to other people's music. I think.
Let it be, let it
Yeah.
be. Uh, so any big news to wrap up the show?
We already talked about Sin Cara requesting, a release from WWE. I know Tony Khan confirmed Double or Nothing, so we know that's gonna happen. We all knew that's gonna happen, but that's gonna happening. Not anytime soon. That might happen after the summer, but I know they don't want to oversaturate the product, so they're planning to do only 4 pay-per-views for the year. Maybe might change throughout the year, but 4 would be great because you have one kind of like a seasonal thing. So have one around this time, Halloween time, whatever. Then I would say kind of every holiday have one. Um, and I feel like the
That's way more than four though.
no, what I'm saying, but like do one around this time, so October. So do one around January, February, like before WrestleMania, because when WrestleMania hits, that's gonna be a little too crazy, and to compete with them and getting buildings and stuff, and like if you're trying to go MSG or so, I know they have their stadium in Jacksonville, but do it before WrestleMania, so you kind of hit them where it kind of hurts for WWE, and they have to like step up and like do kind of go crazy for WrestleMania. Do a little bit before the summer and do All Out around the same time as like how they did August time, Labor Day weekend. That'll be good like rotation out every 4 months from now. And I think I saw I know it's you might not like this, but I saw some news that John Cena is missing WWE and his return might be imminent. And I know Randy Orton kind of Randy hasn't missed a WrestleMania since I think 2001, so he kind of tweeted to John Cena about a challenge for WrestleMania, maybe his WrestleMania return, Randy Orton against John Cena. We
Yeah.
maybe see that in Tampa Bay. So
I mean, it's been a while. They haven't played that card in quite some time, so it doesn't hurt nobody.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because John Cena is becoming the Dwayne Johnson. Randy Orton, I don't think he's going to go into Hollywood. I feel like The Miz should be the next person to face John Cena because
okay,
they had, their chemistry was pretty legit. You know what I'm saying? Winning, like John Cena beat, no, The Miz beat John Cena in WrestleMania, which was pretty
mm-hmm.
awesome. So I feel like he still have a score to settle. AEW did pick up a new female competitor.
Okay,
Um, Her name is Candice, but she's a morena. You know what I'm saying? She's in the
okay,
indie top name. I think I'm gonna post an image of her so people know who she is. Sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Forgive me. I do know Duff Ziggler definitely wants to leave WWE real soon, which
mm-hmm.
I'm not too surprised. And Rusev said he's willing to go back to Saudi Arabia.
Hmm.
Idiot,
Yep.
because
I, I
he's
just
rich.
yeah. Um, I know Jack Hager mentioned, kind of tweeted out to Rusev to leave his BS that's going on in SmackDown and come to AEW, which he'll be fantastic in AEW, and he'll be utilized properly, and you get to see more Rusev. Um, Hopefully, this whole Rusev thing ends soon. If not, I feel bad for they ruining that guy. But
I feel
um,
like we should not mention Rusev unless if he had a match. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
This
But I know Jack
Lana,
Hager said the whole thing like, "Yo, leave this thing behind, and if you can, get out of there and come here." But um,
agreed.
I know. I will also mention kind of our honorable mentions. NWA's Power. They've been streaming on Facebook and YouTube. That's a good old school wrestling kind of to watch. A lot of people from Impact been going there, so it's a good thing to watch. And also, Impact signed Ken Shamrock. He's like 50 something. He's back to wrestling. Yeah,
Oh,
crazy. Yeah,
oh,
and
Jesus!
they
Why?
have you
Why?
heard have you heard of Joey Ryan? The guy that his finisher, it's like he makes people grab his crotch and they do like a flip. I don't know if you've seen him.
I'm
I'll send you
done.
the link.
I'm done.
But
I don't want the
they
link. I don't want the
it's
link.
ridiculous. But yeah, so they people have been criticizing because Ken Shamrock he's doing what's best for business, so he's been having matches with Joey Ryan. So it's just it's wrestling, it's just entertainment stuff. So they've been having bad reviews about the matches, but
I
Ken Shamrock
bet.
is like, I'm here for basically to entertain people. So if this is what's entertaining for this crowd and stuff, I'll do it. Like at least he's down for the
No,
cause. But it's just like, yeah. So Ken Shamrock kind of like he kind of had nothing else to do, so He's in Impact now with Sammy Callahan and them. So that's another. Now Impact it's been getting a little bit better after they signed their TV deal. So that's another show to watch. So if those who may want an alternative to especially Raw, SmackDown, go watch NWA. They're on Facebook and YouTube, and Impact Wrestling there on TV. So those two are kind of good alternative because AEW is gonna run the Indies.
All right, so there you go. So again, you can follow our show on Facebook Live Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well. Like and follow our social media page on Instagram and Twitter, the Providence Lucha Talk. So,
As well, before we go, as well, I've been transcribing all our videos from live onto our Facebook, so you can follow us also, as well. Private Lucha Talk on our Facebook channel. I've been trying to move everything over, kind of figure it out, all our videos over to the Private Lucha Talk YouTube channel.
oh, you put
So,
it on YouTube?
yep. So the one
Awesome.
from last week, I've been trying to like keep it organized. So the ones from tonight will be hopefully either today or tomorrow on YouTube, and everything from our archives from last week before will be transitioned a little by little, making a good archive, an arsenal of Private Lucha Talk podcast.
All right, so if you missed our show Tuesdays or Thursday, you'll be able to catch it later on, post on YouTube. So that's a hell of a good news that I wasn't aware of. So
There you
that's
go.
what's up.
Subscribe.
There we go. So this is Jay Aguila.
And this is Lucito.
Thanks for watching.
All right,
Peace.
have a good one. See ya.